A very good morning to you. Many thanks for joining us in U45 Morning Show. I'm a thank you. Of course, I'm not here alone.
All right, a wonderful morning to you all. It's beautiful being here. I mean, the Christmas is around the corner, so hey, I hope you guys are preparing very well. You're welcome to U45 Morning Show. Shegun Dilola DME is my name.
And I'm Patience Winnie. A beautiful Thursday morning to you. Go out there and be blessed.
Yes, counting down now to Christmas. I tell you what, it is just 4 days. So, Christmas, yes, the celebration of our Lord Jesus Christ, and I hope you are very prepared to celebrate this a very special day, of course, for the Christians all over the world. And I'm sure that Nigeria is not left out of this very celebration. Yes, today on U45 Morning Show, we want to look at something very critical when you talk about corruption in Nigeria. Yes, a lot of people have said that corruption remains a bane and has eaten deep into the fabric of the nation, Nigeria. So just how do we begin this conversation? Interestingly, just recently, the CJN, yes, appointed his younger brother as auditor for NJC. And you know what this means? This has been created with lots of reactions, of course, from different quarters. So today we will look at this very aspect. We want to know, is this the way to go for the NGC? Would this not also to an extent encourage corruption? Let me say you apart. Well, how do you see this?
How credible is the junior brother of Justice Ariwola? Credibility matters. And if he is actually qualified for the post, then there's no problem. But the thing there is, the general public will not be happy that they want to turn the NJC into a family affair. I know, definitely a lot of people. What do you think?
Okay, I'd like to also get your own reaction to this. Let me also remind the viewers that we have a special guest, of course, a legal practitioner and also a security expert, Tony Ofoyeto, to join us in this conversation. But then, before now, as members of the fourth estate of the REM, you agree with me that you need our opinions too for us to make something beautiful about the country Nigeria. So, Shegun, let me now take the conversation to you. How do you see this? What about the fact that if the younger brother is quite qualified?
Okay, so if the younger brother is right, and that's one step, right? And then the question we'll now ask ourselves, the CJN himself, is he credible and reliable? You understand? Because now, if the number one man does not condone corruption, whoever he appoints will not do such. You understand? So even if the younger brother is corrupt, if he has no integrity, right, for the CJN to appoint him, he knows that whatever happens, he will be held responsible. You understand? So I'm pretty sure that he knows what he is doing. But then the younger brother is not the only qualified person in Nigeria.
Yes. Okay. The gentleman, of course, there's no woman in journalism. It's about everybody is just a man. So permit me to borrow that part. Okay, now let's look at it from this angle. All right. You see, this is not his elder brother. He is his younger brother that he has appointed. Don't you feel that he's also looking at it from the angle that he will be able to control his brother? Because we know the way the country is. So even if there are other qualified individuals there, is it not possible that this individual might be a clock in the wheel of his progress? But what if they come to the table and say a certain amount of money should be shared and one of you, and he objects to that as the CJN? You know, definitely they can come together and see how he can be, removed from that very seat.
Okay, so I tell you what, there is something that happened a while ago. The former commissioner of police in Lagos State, talking about MD Abubakar, the former IG2. So every state, it was the commissioner of police. It was going along with his team. Was going along with his team, and when he became IG, he went along with his team. You understand? So, if you want to succeed, I feel you should work with people that you know.
Can deliver.
Yes.
And trust. That you also have trust.
You understand? So, but my only challenge is because this person is his brother, and then Nigeria might just be saying it's not ethical, but then he knows that this person cannot move money from the account. Do you understand?
Peradventure, let's just look at it from the other angle. He could also, like Nick has said earlier, will also be his tool to achieve whatever dubious missions he has.
And so if there's
We'll have to look at it both ways.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, you have to also understand that, of course, in this part of Africa, it's believed that good name is better than riches, gold, silver.
In the past. Yes, in the past. But now a lot of things have come into
I disagree with you.
No, see,
I agree with that.
I disagree. You know why?
Yes.
We still have families who still have the right values, and they continue to project it. So it doesn't mean that because the country is tilting towards this corrupt state, that do not have Nigerians that are corruption free.
I understand this, but the percentage has really dwindled as compared to the past, where families inculcated that thing into every child to remember where you're coming from, remember your family name, remember whose child you are, and that wealth is not everything, but good name is better than riches. I pray all families start all over to inculcate this into our children.
Okay, for the benefit of our viewers, let me quickly just read it to you the way it is before Tony Fuito joins us virtually. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, as you've seen on screen, recently appointed his younger brother, Adebayo Ariwola, as the new auditor for the National Judicial Council, NJC. The appointment places the younger brother, Ariwola, in a key position to oversee the internal audit unit of the NJC, a role with substantial authority to ensure financial integrity and responsibility within the Commission. He is now responsible for evaluating the Commission's internal controls, scrutinizing accounting processes, and ensuring compliance with legal standards. Justice Ariwola holds a position of near supreme authority with vast powers within the judiciary, now has a direct family link to the head of a crucial oversight unit, arguably the only unit capable of exercising independence and effectively checking and balancing any excesses within the CJN's domain.
So it's pretty obvious, right? That he wants the system to work, right? He wants it to work, and he knows that in every sector in Nigeria, the level of corruption is on the high side, and he knows that if the person in the helm of affairs the accountant or the auditor general does not approve it, it will not move. So he feels, okay, let me put my brother there. At least my younger brother I've known for a long period of time. I know him, I know he's credible, I know his track record. If I put him there, he will be able to, and then corruption will be drastically reduced.
Yeah, and you also have to understand that they are about family values, so it's possible there's something they grow with, there's a belief which he feels that it is time for him to also take authority and ensure that they do their best as family to
Exactly.
curb the corruption in the judicial
Exactly.
sector. We're now being joined by our guest this morning is a security expert, a legal practitioner, and also the Director General of the International Institute of Professional Security, IIPS, Tony Ofoyeton. Good morning, Tony Ofoyeton. Hello, Tony,
Good
can you
morning,
hear me?
sir.
Good
Sorry
morning.
for the. Yes, I don't hear me.
Yes.
Can you
Oh,
hear me?
TG. Oh, wow, you look good. But then again, you remind me of the past when you have the likes of the Ewejokos and what have you, TG. All right. It feels good to have you join us in U45 Morning Show.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right,
Yes,
so Barrister Tony Ofoyeton, and he's also a doctor. So I don't know which to use. So I start with Barrister Dr. Tony Ofoyeton. Yes, this is your field. This is your sector. Yes, the CJN has appointed his younger brother as an auditor for NJC. First, how do you see this? Let's get your reaction.
Well, my first question will be: is the brother qualified professionally to handle such office? What is the pedigree? Apart from that, what is the who are those that are on ground that ordinarily ought to have occupied that office but didn't occupy the office, maybe because of the influence of the brother. Now, if we have that are more qualified, and unfortunately, because of the relationship, uh, the younger brother came on board, that would be nepolistic. But if we have only him being the most qualified among contenders, then it makes professional sense to me. It has nothing to do with blood affinity. It's more of a professionalism this time around. However, in a country like this, where you have avalanche of people that are qualified for one office, I think that is one area that we want to look into. I personally bring in relatives, occupy office. If the relatives are qualified and the most qualified to occupy that office as at that time, there won't be any problem. But if it's not the most qualified, then you are bringing that person in because you have that advantage. That is where the problem lies. And that is going to be my first reaction or response to that.
Dr. Tony Ofoeto, yes, you have been in Nigeria for long. Yeah, you've traveled wide and far, and looking at the situation of Nigeria, we're all aware of the level of corruption in this country. Don't you think that it might be that the CJN has a kind of he has a vision to ensure that to an extent he works on reducing the level of corruption in the judiciary. And that's why he's looking for someone that he knows can really identify with his vision.
Well, the issue is, like I said, if you are looking for somebody that is going to help you in that area, must it be your younger brother? If you are able to justify, or your brother, if you are able to justify that he is the most qualified, I don't have problem with that. But in Nigeria of nowadays, where we see a lot of situations on ground, we see people that are, they lay foundation to cover their tract. I'm not saying that is what the CGN is doing. No, not at all. and that is not what I'm insinuating. But I'm looking at it from antecedents. You look at governors want to leave office, they want their successor to be their stooges. You see ministers, they want people that are going to be them before, during, and after their office to be their apologists. So if we look at it from that perspective, we want to convince ourselves whether what the CJN is doing is within the purview of professional ethics, or alternatively it's a nepotistic appointment. Now we bring in nepotism because if we know that is you are employing or appointing somebody as a result of religious consideration, ethnic consideration, tribal consideration, and you have thrown professionalism into the wind, now that become a questionable one. But as it is now, from all indication, the man that is being appointed there seems to be that is his area of specialization. So if that is his area of specialization, we want to ask where he is coming into. Are there no people that are more qualified? If there are no people that are more qualified, good. But if there are people that are more qualified than him, and that of course will be very unfortunate, because that will not indicate that what the CJN is doing is, in the case of any eventuality, cover my track or cover the track of people I will send to you, cover the track of my crew. I will be Mary and the first interpreter that.
Nepotism, yes. However, Barrister Tudo Foyinto, do you agree that indeed there is high level of corruption in the judiciary, and how do you think this can be curbed?
Can you see me at all, Nika?
I can see you. Can you
Hear
hear
me?
me?
I just asked the question. Can you hear me?
Okay, I'm struggling to hear you, but
Okay, here's the question.
I don't know if it's.
I said, based on what you've talked
Okay, go
about,
ahead.
do you agree
Yeah.
that indeed there's a high level of corruption in the judiciary? And how do you think the CJN can work towards reducing corruption in this very sector?
The CJN working to reduce corruption, there are two things. Number one is institutional framework, a structural framework that would make it near impossible for judges to be corrupted and judicial officers and workers. Because when you are talking about the judiciary is an embodiment of a big institution, you know, you have the bar and the bench, and you have also the registry where combination of their own, as you are seeing clerks and all those stuff like that, surrounding you, asking for one thing or the other. They seems to they forgot that they earn salary, and they want you to also pay them for doing their job. Give them something, give them tips and all those stuff like that. Anything so they can see including paperwork. Of course, paper reduced very beautifully well in the court, and I give that. That's also corruption to that level. But in terms of corrupting judges, which becomes the bane of the whole situation, you see a lot of agitations about some. Right. You don't need to be a lawyer to know something. Able to help monetize the judicial operation will cause a lot of embarrassment to judges, and it's also going to bring a lot of lacuna along the way. But it's going to help because once judges are aware that there's sting operation, they will know very well that look, you take the money, you don't know who's giving you the money, and at the end of the day, at the point of you are arrested, and that is just the end of your career. But it takes that political will for them to do that. If they are able to work with the DSS, they will achieve that. So it's a matter of whether the CJN is ready, and all the justices of the Supreme Court, whether they are also ready to support. And that is a product of also Mr. Order to say, I want corruption out of this institution. Once that is done, I'm sure we'll have a lead in terms of the judiciary. But having said so, so far so well, the judiciary is actually not doing badly in view of the type of society that we are. Hello?
Of a family member as an internal auditor violates any code of conduct or ethical guidelines for judges and judicial officials.
What did you say? I didn't get that.
Member as an internal auditor violates any codes of conduct or ethical guidelines for judges and judicial officials.
Okay, whether he has violated any code of conduct by appointing a judicial officer that is that he has affinity with, is that your question?
Sir.
For now, I'm not aware of such a code of conduct that says that he cannot bring in family member that is qualified to occupy that office. So that's for now. I'm not aware of that. Somebody else can prove me wrong, but I'm not aware of that. So I've not seen the fact that he has violated of conduct for now. I'm sure that he is a good lawyer. He is a lawyer par excellence. So he understands the code of conduct very well. He knows the strength and the weaknesses of the law, and I'm sure that he will not, flout the law in such a manner if such law exists or such code of conduct exists. Hello? Yes, of course it will. Yes, it will. Definitely it will, because at the end of the day, people would have to be extra vigilant. People will be very suspicious. Whatever the auditor is going to do and whatever his appointees that are related to him are going to do, they will look at it from different angles before they are able to conclude. So and things that you consider, and of course, if these people are untouchable, that, but if they do themselves, those that have occupied such offices, the absence of that, definitely speak, it's already in confidence of, as it were. There's no two way about that.
Mr. Antonio Fuento, the judiciary,
Yes.
should be an epitome of, showing what I call fairness, equity, and justice. Now, every civil servant, of course, has the right, of course, to vie for different position, just as this appointment of the younger brother as auditor. Do you see this as a way of, infringing on the rights of others? And again, talking about critical hierarchies, do you think he has by any way also stepped on toes?
Well, let me start from definitely for things like this, it's sure that he has stepped on toes. There are people that would want to occupy that office, and there are people that definitely would have been going to be there. And so those people will feel unhappy about it. That one is a sacrosanct truth. The issue of rights, I don't like that. Such of privilege and right. So nobody is going to claim rights or entitlement to any office. It's a privilege. Even if you have been promoted and you have climbed the ladder and it's just a step for you to get in there, it still remains a privilege and not a right. So let's also clear that. So if God has said that you'll be there, on the other, it's not. It's a matter of turn by turn. You wait for your turn. Let's not make a mountain a molehill. But what I've just said is that whatever the CJ has done now is bringing out public cry, is impeding on the judiciary. The trust of fraud that is going to emanate from what has been done by the CJN is such that people are not going to bring it out 100%, so to say. And that is why we're having this conversation now. If not so, we will not be having this conversation. If he were to have appointed any other person apart from his blood affinity, we will not have been having this type of conversation. But because of that, we looked at it as being unethical, and we looked at it as being, look, you shouldn't have done that and all those stuff like that. But that's not an issue. We've seen governors that appointed even their own biological daughter. I'm sure you know of that one as one of their appointees, so to say. So I don't have problem with appointing, and that's just my own. I don't have problem with you appointing any of your relative that is most qualified for the office. The problem I have is if that person is not qualified. Now you tell me that there are other people that are qualified to also occupy that office. I agree with you. But he has the opportunity of being a blessing to his brother that is equally qualified. I think there is nothing wrong in choosing that his brother.
And you said that the judiciary is not doing badly. You said, maybe, judging from this very submission of yours, are you aware that there's a lot of aspersion cast on the judiciary, especially with the ruling or the verdict delivered during the presidency, talking about the presidency of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's election? Do you still think that the world or Nigerians, now let's bring it out to Nigerians, to still see the judiciary as being very pure?
No, I didn't say the judiciary is pure. That would be too absolute. I remember that I also said that there are corrupt judicial officers from the bar to the bench to the registry. I did say that. So I would never come here and tell you that the judicial, legislature, executive, and there's none that is pure. I only said they are not doing badly. In other words, in view of what we have in this country today, I said they are not doing badly. And that was what I said. And I still stand by the fact that the judiciary is not doing badly. Now, as a lawyer, what we see is different from what the people see. Look at the presidential election, and what you see is the sentiments and media. But from the legal perspective, the
It's
uh,
amazing.
Okay,
base his judgment on. So based on that, you must understand the narrative and how it works in the judiciary. Yeah, you were saying something.
okay, well, at a point you were freezing, so it was pretty difficult for me to hear what you were saying. However, be that as it may, absolutely there's nothing anyone can do to change this very state. He is now the auditor and we can change it. Now, going forward as a legal practitioner who is aware of doings in this very sector, what would be your advice to the auditor, of course, and the CJN himself in ensuring that they work in such a way that they eschew being partial and also by being upright?
Now let me do a juxtaposition before doing that advice. Every president that come into this country and every governor in all states, first of all, they will first of all be in who becomes the Speaker of the House, either at national level or at state level. Why? Because they need ease. A democracy, not just in Nigeria, in America, everywhere that you have democratic structure. You want to work with people that believe in your mission and vision and philosophy. You don't want to work with an adversary. And so if the speaker is the type that understand the mission and vision of Mr. President or Mr. Governor, it is easy for him to the house. CJ is also at a situation where, look, we have a lot of financial needs. We have a lot of issues that has to do with finance. I look for somebody that is impeccable and will also understand the mission and the vision I am bringing into this institution. Now, so I see that as one of the reasons why you want to make sure that whosoever is occupying that office understand your philosophy and your mission and vision. Having said so, the advice I'm going to give is not actually going to go mainly to the CJN. It's going to go mainly to the auditor that has been appointed. Number one, don't disappoint yourself. Number two, don't disappoint your family. Number two, don't disappoint. Number disappoint the next. Now all eyes are on this appointee because he's a brother to the CJN. That simply means that everything he is doing will be interpreted nexusing him and the CJN perpetually in as much as he occupies that office. Even if the CJN leaves that office before him, it will still be nexus. So that means that he must ensure professionalism in everything he does. He must be ready to step on the toe of if his brother is going to err. He must also be ready not to be used as a corruption, as a tool for stealing, as a tool for embezzlement. So he must make up his mind out anything that not play out, even when it's that even though my brother that settlement here, I did this job in such a manner that it was impeccably perfect, so to say. So if that is done, then of course, for the CGN, the only thing I will say is please don't be overbearing, don't be obnoxious in terms of what the young man is going to do. Let him do his job professionally. That will also avail him at the end of the day. Thank you.
All right, on that note, I would like to say a very big thank you to you, Barrister Tony Ofoito, for sharing your thoughts with us on U45 Morning Show today. Let me also hope that the CJN will remain on the seat to use the tenor in such a way that they don't gang up against him, just like the former CJN, then Onogen was removed out of office. Barrister Tony Ofoito, many thanks.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Tony Ofoito, a legal practitioner and of course a security expert at the DG of International Institute of Professional Security. Yes, gentlemen, what do you see about the submission of experts this morning?
He actually made some key points, like I initially said. How qualified is his brother for the position? Then aside from that, what actually is the process for appointing an auditor? There must definitely be a process, and someone can just have the veto power and just impose an auditor on the NJC.
Oh, well, you know where, I would like to say something, but there's no point pretending as if you don't know our country. Just like the DG said, it's a norm. An individual is leaving the office. He works on bringing somebody that will be his stooge there, or somebody he's going to have control over in such a way that his past back records are not brought to the open. You understand? And that should not. And I'd like to also justify or buttress this point, identifying what is happening in Rivers, talking about Rivers politics.
Yes.
Well, it's so surprising to me today that we have Wabara Fullback rather, and having
Wike.
loggerheads with
Wike.
the FCT minister, of course, the immediate past governor of that state. The reason is not far-fetched, other than he's not doing the bidding of who brought him to office. You understand? But that's a different story for another day. All right, viewers, right about now, yes, we're going to still look at the papers, and of course, we'll look at what's trending. Right about now, we'll take a short break, and I'll be handing over to Solomon for him to take you through the papers and, of course, what's trending, our hashtags and our trends. So, stay with us. Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is AM to 12 p.m.? Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation together with talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How is your day going? Bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Delola Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment.
And right about now, we'll be going straight to the newspaper review. Pat, what's in the newspaper this morning?
Yeah, so many happenings in Nigeria. First, we'll have to take the Punch newspaper.
Okay.
And the main story in the Punch says, FG slashes interstate fares. Labour knocks government. And the writer says, NRC begins free train ride today. That's absolutely good. What do you think? Free train rides in Nigeria?
I think it's beautiful.
How long do you think this is going to last?
You know, just for the yellow tie season, I'm pretty sure January 2024, all of this will be over with. So, well, for most of you that have not gone on a train ride, maybe now it's the time to just try your hand.
I'll have to test this out because I've never been on a train ride before. And another writer says, Katsina Kombi led to Delta transporters. Others claim ignorance of subsidy. On page 19 of the Punch, FG courts external borrowing debt soars to 88 trillion naira. Another story says reps probe NNPCL JV deals.
Has been going on in that organization. A lot has been happening with the NNPC, and I'm glad that this time around reps are truly probing into it, and I hope they're able to get results, positive results from all of them.
And I hope when they're finally probed, they will actually take the actual stance on dealing with these people properly, not just on paper and social media. Shagun?
Yeah, I believe that this administration is here to work, and work they will do. You know, the NNPCL, it's been a sector that generates a very high revenue, but then we don't seem to understand where the monies are going into. So for reps to probe them, I think is a good deed. It's a good thing to do. Yes.
Another story says Army retires 113 generals and pledge support for democracy. Man arraigned for stealing 25 million in Lagos. That can be found on page 4. And military uncovers 636 illegal refineries, seizes 21 liters crude. This can be found on page 8.
Okay.
I mean,
600.
We had to take the military intervention to uncover 636 illegal refineries.
Now, illegal refineries, right? So why not make it legal? Do you understand? Okay. So these guys, they refine in small scale. They refine in small scale with local equipment, right? You found out. Okay, so why not employ them?
And empower them.
Yes, empower them and make it legal. Make it legal, because by the time you make it legal, meaning we will be having 636 refineries, and by so doing, definitely we'll have
cheaper fuel.
Yes, and it will be in surplus.
Exactly.
So we don't have to wait for Dangote refinery or Port Harcourt refinery. I mean, we already have 636.
Exactly. I mean, that I really support you, because we're crying that our refineries are not working, and these people, although the criminality behind that is not, I'm not in support of the criminality behind it.
Yes.
But the thing though is they're innovative.
Yes. Now, for instance, okay, so the FBI catches someone who is a criminal and is very good at what it does, being maybe a cyber crime. They don't just lock you up in prison. They bring you in. Okay, what happened? How did you do this? How did you do this? They even learn from you. Do you understand? So Nigeria can learn from this.
You're right.
But these guys, they are doing this because there's no job, because they are risking their lives. They're doing it because there's no job. So now, make it legal. Employ them. Let them be on payroll. Employ them. Let them be on payroll.
And upgrade their machines.
Yes, upgrade it. And then they'll still be under the NNPCL. and you can oversee everything, and we will not be having the issue of fuel scarcity.
And then the last story I'm taking on the Punch says, peace deal. On page 13 of the Punch.
All right, moving away from that, we'll go straight to this day newspaper. The headline says, Senate screens Supreme Court Justice nominees Abiru Samani Adumein, Sanke Uwa Nwosu Iheme, Ugbunya Ada Tukor Umar, and Idris. The writer says frowns at emergency appointments by NJC, and then atop the writer says, okay, this one says 113 generals bow out of army as defense minister assures of prompt payment of pension. You find that on page 34. Now that's the problem we've been having in this country, paying pension of ex-servicemen. There was a period, I can't remember, I think it was between 2002 to 2005.
Yeah.
You see these men on the road in Koyi, makeshift homes, that's what they do, and they were there for months,
Yes.
years. Why? Because they want to get what rightfully belongs to them. I mean, it shouldn't be. I just hope that the defense headquarters are going to do as they say.
Absolutely.
Payment of the pension.
Absolutely, Shegun, because I could relate with that. Immediately you mentioned the year, it struck a chord because my dad, who is a retired military personnel, was also a victim of that, and that was when he retired, 2001 precisely. And since then, it has always been stressful when they go for their exercise, their yearly exercise. Sometimes it's difficult to get. In fact, the last one they did, they went there for months just to get a new ID. I mean, I just feel, and my dad was telling me that some of the young soldiers were rude to them, and they were like, "You're going to be here someday. We were as agile as you are, before." So I just feel that the government should find a way to help alleviate the sufferings of some of these soldiers. I'm glad they are talking about prompt payment. It should not just be a paper talk. They should implement it and make these guys have served. If you go to other climes, if you see the way they treat ex-military or personnel, they treat them like kings. So I think we should do the same over here. And there are some benefits they should also enjoy.
Yes.
I mean, why should I have served the nation for 30-35 years and I'm being treated like the average Nigerian? They pay for everything just like the average Nigerian. So what is the benefit of being an ex-military personnel?
I mean, I even feel everything they want to do should be sent. For instance, their pension, they don't need to go to anywhere. Send it to their account direct. The new ID card they want to give to them, they don't need to go anywhere. Make it and dispatch. Just send from Abuja to Lagos. Send to Kaduna.
I agree with you, Shegun. Now, another reason they do that from the angle of the military, which I understand, sometimes these men, because of age, some of them actually pass on. Do you get? And so if they do not do that exercise, some people in the military will be the ones to benefit from that. Instead of the man had died 3-4 months ago, but someone else is collecting his pension and the military is not aware. So to also update their database, what the military will do is to allow them come for verification. But the exercise is really stressful on these men.
All right. Finally, on this day newspaper, for smoother yellow tide, federal government approves free transportation for commuters. And then the writer says, favors Lagos Ibadan, Abuja Kaduna, Warri Itakpe rail corridors. Another one says, OK's 50% reduction in road transportation on 28 routes nationwide.
This is good. I mean, I saw this news this morning, and I was excited. The fear is always when it comes to implementation. Now, for me, Segun, I commend the president or the federal government for this. I mean, it shows that they are beginning to be connected to the plight and the suffering of the people, because if you guys understand what we've talked about here, what the majority of Nigerians are really suffering from now is inflation, and the two areas that have been affected the most is food and transportation. So if those two are really looked at and alleviated, it will help the economy and help poor people. So I love the initiative of the federal government, but my concern is the transportation. For the real transport, I understand the discount strategy can work because of the system itself. But how are you going to implement 50% discount for road transportation?
Now the thing there is this NURTW,
Nigerian Union of Road Transport Workers
are quite independent, and we all know that they are very forceful to the drivers on the roads. And they are actually the ones making transportation more expensive because they have all those hooligans on the roads that collect money from the drivers. Now, these people the drivers are buying fuel at a more expensive rate right now. And then this will be actualized.
Okay, so the 50% they don't disturb interstate, they disturb within state. So my own concern is...
When was the last time you traveled, Shegun? You see, the thing there is they don't disturb those well-known motor companies, like the names, we shouldn't mention them. But there's still some people that do private interstates.
True.
They go with their Siennas, they go with the cars, and they have parks, designated parks where they go and load passengers. These towns go there and collect money from them. So now, how can this 50%
discount be implemented?
Fashions these things out before coming to say, okay, 50%, and then it might just be designated
companies that are doing this 50% so that people can patronize them more. And then when this all people tell them, we're not having business. What do you think?
I think I agree with you, and also we have more road users than rail users, so it will help the road users a lot more. I just hope the government will be able to have a good strategy on how to implement, for me especially, the road transport system.
Now, talking about transportation, we have diverse means of transportation in Nigeria, especially in Lagos State. Even all over Nigeria, we have the waterways. I don't understand why the government do not want to use the waterways. You make it safe, get good boats and good ships or whatever on the waterways, and then make it safe for people to travel. There will not be traffic on the waterways.
Absolutely.
People will get to where they're going to on time if it's made safe.
True. I agree with you. But one thing about the waterways, it is the highest risk of transportation next to the air. Whenever there are casualties, is usually fatal. So, but I think I agree with you. The government should look for ways to make our waterways safer and take a lot of people off the road, especially mega cities like Lagos, Port Harcourt, and they have water all around. So if the government can do that, it will help alleviate the sufferings of people in traffic in these urban cities. All right, straight to the Guardian newspaper. The main headline says 78,446 inmates in dire straits over 750 naira daily feeding costs. You find that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And then it broke it down. 78,446 inmates across 253 custodian centers in Nigeria, and then security dogs earn higher budgets and get 800 naira per diem. The dogs are getting better daily feed than humans and inmates in our prisons. 76,670 are males, while only 176 are females. Shegun, it's very dangerous to be a man. You know, you can imagine what's going on. You know, and the inmates in Dire Straits, over 750 naira daily feeding cost. And then the last rider says 50,401 awaiting trial, and then 3,271 on death row nationwide. I mean, this is quite alarming.
The prisons should be decongested. The people awaiting trials, they should take them to court and then look into their cases so they can decongest the cells.
All right. Finally, on the Guardian newspaper, because of our time, it says Yaba Psychiatric Hospital records 100% admission spike, says CMD. You find that on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. A lot of people are mentally unstable this period.
It's enough. The hunger in the country, the inflation in the country. A lot of people are not emotionally strong to handle some things. And then if you don't hinge your life onto God and you feel you can do things all by yourself, He has a way of mentally disturbing you. Because we're all going through a lot of things, but when you have God and you believe that tomorrow is going to be better, things will be better.
Absolutely.
It is well.
Amen.
Oh, Shegun doesn't have what to say.
No, because I mean, you know, I was still going to talk about this in our hashtag and trend.
Okay.
Because now, they did not say 30%.
Said 100.
They said 100, meaning
It's
almost
worse.
everyone in Lagos is mentally unstable.
Wow.
Because if you don't think about what to eat, you think about where to lay. If you don't think about what to lay, you think about what to wear. If you don't think about what to wear, you think about how the family, how are they, because people are looking up to you. You have people, you have children, and if you're not married yet, you don't have children, you have siblings, you have parents, because they are aged. Now you're agile, you should take care of them, but there's no proper job to do, no means. I mean, so how do you want to survive? All of those things, just imagine all of these things, it definitely will weigh the person down. So
yeah, I quite understand. Well, I wish we could take more, but there's no time. That'll be all for the newspaper this morning. And right about now, we'll take a short break, and when we'll get back, it will be time for sports. And if we have enough time, we'll do hashtag and trends. Please stay with us. All right, welcome back, guys, from the break. Now we'll be going straight to sport, and joining us this morning is Joel Onwakego. Joel, good morning. What's happening?
What's happening in the world of sports, and the big one is the AFCON, 23 days to the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, and the Nigerian team, the coach submitted a provisional list made up of 40 players, and the list was trimmed down to 27. But the AFCON said we want this, probably 23 players, but the coach said they're going to have 27 lists, probably 4 players will be on standby. But for me, the big one, you don't have any home base. That is a big question. Nigerians are not happy. The coaching council is not happy. Even the bulk of the home base players are not happy that they are not part of the, don't be part of the exhibition come, 2024 in Ivory Coast. And compared to what happened in 2013, actually 13 years back when the Cup of Nations was won by a Nigerian team led by Stephen Keshi, you had 6 home base players, the likes of Ogbonna, you had Azulika Oguike, Sunday Mba. I don't know, a lot of people feel the coach is not living up to his billing. as a Super Eagles coach?
I agree with you, Joel. I mean, it's quite. How do we promote our local leagues? I mean, are we saying our boys are not talented? We see what's going on with the league this season. This season has really been exciting. You know, we have talented players. You know, across the league, and it's so unfortunate that Jose Pesero and the Sport Ministry, NFF precisely, could not find at least 2 or 3 home-based players to include into the team. Well, it's so unfortunate. But for me, Joel, the highlight and the talking point for me is the inclusion of Ahmed Musa. A lot of people feel that Musa should not be in that list.
I think it's not a final list. Like I said, it's just a professional list. It's not a final list submitted to CAF. Now, we have 28 players in a team in the Premier League in Nigeria, and you have 20 teams. So start, if you do the maths, we have over 600 registered players in the Premier League in Nigeria. So you want to tell me you don't have a quality striker, a midfielder, a defender to take to the Cup of Nations? I mean, for God's sake. Then what are they playing for?
I mean, even if it's to just pick 2 or 3, maybe let them just watch. They might not even get to play, but let them just.
They need the experience
to learn, so that they will understand that okay, this is how it works. You understand? And then putting Ahmed Musa, I believe the coach just wants to deliver. So maybe these are the people that will help him deliver, because his job is at stake. So he feels if he does not include home-based players, if he takes all of them from the international space, well, maybe that will give him the edge and he will be able to deliver. So,
a lot of people feel the pain of our sport always, lie on corruption, which is not a good one. They believe if you did it ever since, playing football in the last 2 years, right now in Turkey, he was part of that list. And now you're dropping a gift Orban that is scoring goals in Genk. What does that tell you? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to talk with the coach right now.
Joel, I think Jose Pesero doesn't believe in homegrown players.
Okay.
I mean, how many NFPL games he has seen? How many of the local league games he has seen? It just shows that that's not where he has thrown his weight into. He's looking for the foreign guys. But sometimes this job can be done by the home base. We saw what Sunday Mba did for Stephen Keshi in 2013. It was outstanding for Nigeria. So sometimes you have to look inwards. Now, for Ahmed Musa, I am happy with his inclusion.
Okay.
I am happy because I see that the team lack maturity and leadership. Now Musa can be included in that list, but he doesn't necessarily have to start games. He can come in the 80th minute, thereabout when the game is being wrapped up. But those boys need leadership. You cannot hand over that team to the likes of Kelechi Iheanacho and what's his name, the cousin of Okocha, Iwobi. Those boys cannot man that team. So they need maturity, and Musa's experience will be needed in that team.
Now, Shegun, something happened in '94. A certain Ronaldo Nazário de Lima was part of the US '94 squad for the Brazil national team. He didn't play a single game. He went in there, understudied the team. Now the next year he became a legend. Now, like you said, we're supposed to have like 1 or 2 players, be part of the team, go there, understudy.
Just sit and watch.
An area of hope.
Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
In 2006 or so, I can't remember, but 2005, 2006. He was in the team, but he did not play a single game for Argentina. So it helps the morale and the confidence of such players. Just be with the team, just get the momentum, see how things are done. And by the time they come in, they have an advantage over those who are just coming in.
If I have to advise the NFF, I think whenever a coach is being employed, it's imperative we see his employment letter. I mean, Nigerians have been put to know. Right now, what are the mandates of Jose Pesero? You have to, like what somebody said, let me quote him, Christian Chukwu, the then captain 1980 squad that won the Cup of Nations. He said, the coach should live in Nigeria. He should see local games. And then recommend players.
Exactly.
But you're living abroad.
He does not even know anybody.
He doesn't see our games.
He has never been to the any of the stadia to watch.
He rarely invites local players.
It's really sad for me because now we've seen coaches in the past that won the Cup of Nations, indigenous coaches. Do we have to rely on these white guys always? We're not sounding racist, for God's sake. If we really take things serious and train our local homegrown coaches, you have an institution called NIS, where you train coaches. You have over 5,000 coaches in Nigeria. Now, you have a coach like Kennedy Boboye, who has won the league in Nigeria. You have Stanley Oguma, that has been back-to-back appearance in the CAF Championship for Rivers United. You have an Enyimba coach. A George Filipe that was once with Real Betis in Spain. You have the likes of Hanwanke, a lot of them. Now you're not working on these people. So on the list is somewhere in Europe, but you keep waiting for somebody like, Jose Pesero.
The problem of Nigerian is color. They just want you to be white. if you're white, to give you the job. Because I mean, I see no reason why you cannot employ a Sunday Olise that has been there, he has seen it all. So why not employ him? And he's gone to learn. He's a certified